how has the Indian consumer evolved in the last 26 years that you have been yourself, into jobs and then as an entrepreneur? And how do you see Indian consumer evolving? Because everybody had a thesis that Indian consumer, especially the VCs, that Indian consumer will behave like American, Indian consumer will behave like Chinese, but Indian consumer had a own unique path.
It'll be like an Indian.
You couldn't replicate what happened in
Yeah.
China and America and India.
Yeah.
I think those people who build their own unique journeys like you, they won, and somebody who just tried to copy paste, they had to suffer because of that. So if you can share some data points of the last 26 years, and how do you think the next 5-10 years of Indian consumer will be?
So one is in the last 20 years, like very difficult to and very difficult for anybody, and especially we've been in a very limited space. I've done banking all my life. It's a very large topic, but generally, if you look at the customers, the one evolution has been the demanding nature of the customer.
Sure.
So you're no longer okay with average products. You would demand excellence from the company. You would demand a proper service. You're no longer okay waiting for 20 minutes for somebody to answer you on the phone or on a customer service. You don't want to be infinitely put on a loop. So customer has definitely become more demanding. That is one. Second, unlike what a lot of people think, customers are willing to pay. So where you would say that Indian customers are always looking for things that are free in life is no longer true. There are a set of customers who are going to pay for the quality of service they want. If they want a faster delivery, they're happy to pay for faster delivery. They know that if they have to spend some time, they'll get it cheaper. But they're willing to pay for convenience. They're willing to pay for quality. You look at the number of hotels which are 50% the price, but because their TripAdvisor rating is 3.5, would not sell full house, whereas somebody which is 100% double the cost, but TripAdvisor rating is 5 will go. So people want quality. People are willing to pay for quality. People want convenience. People are willing to pay for convenience. So that's a dramatic shift where you're not looking for the cheapest product all the time. And the people are willing to pay, like when you would earlier say that a middle class customer, and India is largely a middle class country, at least the consumers spending are largely middle class, would not spend on such luxury items. It's no longer true. They're happy to spend on luxury items. They're happy to run down their credit card and think about repaying later. So that is a very conscious kind of what I see a change in people's willingness to spend. And I already spoke about the confidence the consumers have on India.
Absolutely. They're okay taking loans on travel.
Yeah, they're okay taking loans on travel. They're okay taking loans on shopping. So if there's a shopping festival going on, you would go ahead and buy your branded shirts and jeans and whatever just because it is a 50% discount, and maybe take a credit card overdue and pay it later with interest, or buy now pay later, and these kind of concepts. So that is because you have the confidence that everything will get managed. So that's what I've seen, a major evolution in the society, that as a consumer you're okay to do that, and as a society you are fine with people taking risk. You're fine with your kid taking a risk. Like earlier when I was doing a startup and I told my mom that I've left my banking job and doing a startup, and she really thought I've gone mad. But today, if same thing is happening at any age, like I was 40 when I took the decision. Today you've got entrepreneurs at 25, entrepreneurs at 35, 45, even 55. And their families are supportive. And more importantly, industry is supportive. So if you do a startup, you fail after 5 years, go back to industry, your value would have actually gone up.
Much more than you had been in the
you
same or
had been in the
job.
same. So it's really, really good place to be in India, because eventually, if we have to become a global superpower, and we're talking about 47 being a developed country, it cannot be done without innovation. Like if US did not have the NASDAQ companies, what would it be? China would be really taking it over, because manufacturing is all China.
All the top 4-5 NASDAQ companies, they're all startups.
All startups. You look at Google, you look at Nvidia,
Meta,
Meta, everybody. So you will have to have that startup as a soul of some part of India. So whether it is Bangalore, whether it is a number, but a certain percentage of working age Indians need to have that confidence कि if you fail, it is okay. इस country में कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा. So that confidence is really, really critical.
Same happened in the US, because when a lot of these 20 somethings joined Google or Meta 20 years ago,
Yeah,
saying that whatever happens,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, because the country has enough cushion. They'll not die of hunger.
Absolutely.
And all these are like multi-millionaires now. We took a bet on Google Meta 20
Same
years
thing
ago.
is happening in India. The people who joined Flipkart early in the journey, the people who joined Cred early in the journey, Paytm early in the journey. So
You are seeing that they are the next set of consumers splurging on the Indian economy.
yeah, they consumer splurging, but more importantly, they have seen what startup can do.
Wealth creation cycles.
And impact. Like QR code, now UPI has become ubiquitous, but what Paytm did was phenomenal. So they've seen that they've changed category. They've changed the lifestyle of people. So yeah, there'll be many more Niyos and many more Razor Pays and these companies coming in the future.
How do you see Indian consumer evolving over the next 5-10 years? One complaint that I have, when it's a complaint with myself also, nothing with the general. The Indian consumer has scarcity mindset, right? And I was born and brought up in Meerut, so no different for me. Then, like if I travel to Europe and if I see an empty train or an empty bus, Indians will be the first to occupy the seats.
Okay.
But nobody realizes that the bus won't leave them. Yeah, unlike in India, where people fought for seats on the bus or fought for seats on the train. Right. Right. So this scarcity mindset, when will this go away?
I don't know whether I would call it a scarcity mindset. So when I travel abroad, of course, I observe that all kind of people and our own behavior the way it is. So like a lot of people don't like Chinese tourists. They behave in a certain way. Actually, I really like Chinese tourists because they're so much like Indians. It's not, it is very, very, I don't have a word for it. But yeah, it's very nice to see that, we are not alone in a way that they would be the first one to take selfies. The whole purpose of landing somewhere is to take photos. And so, but that is not because there is a scarcity mindset of you would run and occupy a seat and, rush into everything. But it is that we have been through competition. We are a country of 1.4 billion people. They are a country of 1.4 billion people. Everybody who is right from the kindergarten stage has seen competition, has seen race. And hence we don't want to be left behind. Even when we are going to a tourist spot, we want to be the first person to take a selfie. We don't want people in the background when we take a selfie and those kind of things. So it is very natural from the way it has come, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's absolutely fair. You're not taking anybody else's, you're not cheating. But just that, you want to run, get up in the morning and be the first one to take a photo. Fair enough, go ahead and do it. But what is going to change is that when you want to travel first time to Europe, you want to cover as many places as possible. You will slog 16 hours because Europe, there is sunlight for 16 hours. So all those 16 hours you will be placing, taking. And that's what is the stage a lot of our young consumers are. And then beyond a point, when you go second time, you don't want to be in the tick mode. And third time, you will definitely not want to be in the tick mode and you want to be in a more relaxed mode. And that's where it kind of, that behavior matches the behavior of, let's say, the tourists from developed countries. Because they've been there multiple times. Their own country looks like that. And they're happy just doing nothing. So you would go there in a French Riviera and just do nothing, just read novel and come back. So that is something I think consumer behavior will evolve over 10-15 years once they've done enough of those visits. Yeah. But what is happening now is nothing wrong. In fact, I think the foreign countries have to be very thankful that India is doing well and Indians can afford to travel
and contribute to their economy.
Yeah, you look at the number of Indians traveling to Greece. Are we really helping them? Of course we are helping them. Big time we are helping them. Greece and Italy, we are helping them big time.
Yeah, I've been to Italy recently, and the atmosphere there is very chaotic, like thievery on the streets.
That is nothing to do with us, by the
Yeah.
way.
It's
Indians have
no,
very high
there-
respect.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is that these
The economy
countries,
is in turmoil.
they've gone through turmoil and they need people to come and spend money. Indians are spending money big time. So you go to countries like cities in Italy, for example. You go to Positano, really costly town. Every fourth guy on the street is going to be Indian. You go to Switzerland, for example, and Switzerland, I practically go every 2 years because my favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe because of Yash Raj, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is my favorite. So there, in a town called Start, there's a small town called Start, which is all about high-end shops. It's probably the costliest shops in the world would be there. 20 years ago, 2005, I also didn't go. 2000, I think maybe last time I went in 2012 or something. The first time I went there to now. First time I went there, I also went as a tourist to see what is going around, and now also I don't shop there. I just love that place. But now the number of Indians
Going there is huge.
is, you just can't imagine. Probably every third guy is Indian. So yeah, Indians are. The world is lucky that India is doing well because you have so many people. If India does well, China does well, then there are practically 2.8 billion people who are rich and floating around to spend money.